you play something from True Noir first?
Yeah.
I believe you are quite aware the situation has changed since last we spoke.
The truth is still the truth, and a bargain is still a bargain.
And Mayor Cermak is now deceased.
Yes. What does that have to do with our contract?
I do not recall signing a contract with you, Mr. Heller.
We had a verbal agreement. I'm sure my uncle here will attest to that.
Nathan, please. You're being most rude.
But Dawes reacted just as I knew he would.
Lewis, as a family man, I quite understand your position. As for you, young Mr. Heller, you should not have spoken to the papers of this. It was a breach of confidence.
Nothing was said of our arrangement being a confidential one. Besides which, I was in fact discreet.
How so?
I didn't tell the reporters why I was offered the job at the fair. Void our deal, sir, and I'm going to be put into an embarrassing light. I will have to inform the press of your involvement.
This reeks of blackmail, young man.
It reeks of business. Our arrangement is binding in my view, and if you feel differently, I'll be noisy about it.
Nathan.
I'm not a big wheel like you, General, but us little wheels can get good and goddamn squeaky when we don't get our grease.
My secretary will have contracts ready for you to sign this afternoon at 4. Please return and sign them. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, and of course, your Pharaoh of Physical Media, back from his trip up north, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm, of course, Rob-casting at you imagination connoisseurs, you members of this, the Post-Geek Singularity community. This is, I can't sing today because, I have a cold, but it is Let's Get Physical Media. Imagine me singing it, or better yet, perhaps don't imagine me singing it, but I could. I just won't. Not today. But you know what I do have today? Today, I have your favorite German, my favorite German, the world's favorite German, until, of course, we decide we want to buy Germany. Then there'll be a tariff on his importing into the show, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. He is, of course, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. He's Dieter Bastian.
Since we had a big chair reveal, I thought I'd let you know who's number 28 on the call sheet of Avengers Doomsday. Me, Dietz, playing the douche from Saarbrücken, Germany, and I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here, I am Rocky like Hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, where we have a lot of stuff to talk about, to show. And Rob, how good are you feeling with all of your fancy words that you are using that I don't know, that I have to look up? You know, that verisimilitude that came up this week. And I immediately had to clip that out when I stumbled across it. Hope you had a good laugh about it.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room. That the lovely Lisa Stevenson, who has maintained her loveliness since high school, she seems to have graced you with a gift.
Yeah, look at that, Rob. Look at that. I'm in the Lionsgate Limited Club now.
You know what? I really do love that Lionsgate Limited logo. It's and let me tell you something. Only a female could come up with swag as great as that sweatshirt. The color is great. The feeling is great. Dudes wouldn't come up with that.
Certainly not. It's a little bit too warm because winter season is almost over. And I'm disappointed again, Rob. Last week, you forgot to tell me I only need $5,000 to make it in Hollywood. And as the bookkeeper that you are, since we are speaking of Lionsgate, why didn't you tell me that it's already time for Sunrise on the Reaping?
Oh, I forgot that was coming out.
Novel is out, Rob. Couldn't believe it. Almost missed it.
Speaking of Lionsgate, we should remind everybody how much you paid for Tim Palin, the marketing genius from
don't need
Tim Palin's book. How much did you spend on that book, Dieter? How much? And you know what this means, of course. I mean, how many box sets Sunrise on the Reaping is that's coming out. You know, how many discs or how many copies you
exactly
go buy?
As our fictitious director studio head. Do we greenlight a fifth one? Hunger Games movie?
Of course, you
For
greenlight
the
a
same
fifth
budget?
one. You know, I'm leaving for CinemaCon later today.
Yeah.
So I would, of course, you do. Of course, you. I'm sure
Okay.
the Lionsgate presentation is tomorrow. I think at 9 a.m. So
Okay.
I will
When will
definitely
you be there on Tuesday?
Well, it starts
When will
tomorrow.
you go?
No, I'm
Starts
door
tomorrow,
to
okay.
door to door to Vegas, baby. It's 3 hours.
Okay. Nice,
So
nice to
I'm
know.
cleaning up around here, doing some laundry. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I'm too old to wear printed T-shirts, but when you're got your own merch, you know, what can you say? But yeah, I'm hitting the road, Jack. And
And before I forgot, Rob, before we start our show, let me just look in the group chat. Okay, no bombing at Saarbrücken, Deutschland for the next 2 hours. We be good for our show, Rob. Okay.
well,
Just-
you know,
just-
I've been told that I'm going to have to start imposing a tariff. You know, make the people pay for you. Because tariffs really you don't have to pay them. We do. So, you know, it's going to be something more than just super chats. And, you know, I'll have to have some contractual obligation. I hope the administration doesn't come after me. Who knows nowadays? I mean, they're taking biographies of Martin Luther King out of the Naval Academy library. Gosh, I don't know why. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, but that's what they're requiring in this country now. I told you, I've said that one day they're going to come after my Amazon buy list, and they're going to be like, Martyrs, a Serbian film. You know, it's happening. We're going to listen. We're going to be living in a Handmaid's Tale Christian dystopian film. Horrible. They're going to come for all my movies.
If you're lucky, Rob, they don't know the movies. That could be.
That's the
your-
one good part is that
way
no one pays any attention to movies anymore. So someone's going to go like, but you have Barbara broadcast. You know what I can't get, by the way? I can't get. Was it Mondo who released the X-rated movie Cafe Flesh? Cafe Flesh. We reported it in here. I can't. I've not been able to get it anywhere, and it's like on eBay for $100. Might have to, you know.
Yeah.
But
And I hear up, considering we are still interested in movies, there's an upset at the box office. Snow White didn't make it to the top for a second time. Strangely,
you know, I feel bad. I feel now it's just become we're just abusing the first Disney princess. It's not good. And to be honest, I failed to call this. I thought for sure like you know, with Little Mermaid and with Mufasa and everything that Snow White would have a life. I thought Snow White would be able to overcome the would overcome all the bad press. By the way, Richard Chamberlain, star of the original Shogun, passed away.
yeah.
And
Not only that, Rob, another Richard Norton, who was a prominent, of course, part of, where do I have it, of movies with Cynthia, you know, China O'Brien, you know, he was always mostly a bad guy,
Yeah.
Mr. Nice Guy. Strangely enough, out of nowhere, couldn't believe it. So, Richard, you'll be missed, certainly.
Well, Jason Statham stuck it to Rachel Zegler. A working man beat Snow White, and Unicorn went out to pasture, according to our friend. This comes to us from Anthony D'Alessandro, and of course, Deadline. Let's see what they've got. Do they actually have the list? Here we go. A working man. That made $15.2 million. Snow White made $14.2 million. It dropped 66% from last week. Ouch. The Chosen, The Last Supper. See, I'm telling you, the Christian militia's coming. The Chosen,
It's
The
actually
Last
two
Summer.
episodes of the fifth season.
Yes, TV in the theaters, faith-based stuff. 11.49 million. So that's a good showing for that film. A Woman in the Yard, Universal. I think that's another Blumhouse movie at 9.45 million. Death of a Unicorn from A24. Where are all the A24 faithful? Why didn't they come out for the Death of a Unicorn? It looks great. 5.8 million. Princess Mononoke. Number 6. Major Chai Chai went and saw Princess Mononoke and pondered where that would be on today's box office report. Well, here we are, 4 million. Not bad for a re-release.
Not bad.
Captain America hanging in there with 196.55 million. Only down 35%. Down 30% for the weekend. Not bad. It's still hanging in there. I think it might have got a boost from this thing that we'll talk about later because I haven't talked about it yet on the internet. Yeah. Black Bag, which everyone says is great. Have you seen it? Did you go see Black Bag?
No.
I haven't I've been so busy. By the way, in case anybody's, I know people are on pins and needles, but I have finished True Noir. I am no longer in the editorial phase. We have 2 more episodes to do the final mix on. I'm just waiting to get into the studio. The last piece of the puzzle that I needed was a song. We had a song that we've recorded. Maddie Bodden, the daughter of and her boyfriend Zed, and Alexander Bornstein produced a track, After You're Gone. It's an old standard. Ella Fitzgerald popularized the song. We did our own version of it. And that was the last piece of the puzzle. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Maybe I'll become a revolutionary. Maybe I'll start the real Wolverines and go live in the mountains and, who knows, join a militia myself because I got nothing better.
So many possibilities.
So Black Bag, 18.7 million. Mickey 17 is now up to 43.5 million, and Novocaine up to 18.7 million. Alto Nights, 5.5 million. Boy, they really didn't do a very good job marketing Alto Nights. But that's where we're at. So there's your box office deets.
Okay. And Rob, just quick, what did you thought of the chair presentation, considering the casting?
Well, we were working, so I could check in on it like every half an hour just to see what they revealed, for 5 hours or whatever. So, of course, we're speaking about Marvel's 5.5 hour reveal that was watched by almost 300 million people or something. And the reveal, I have to say, so I did get the omnibuses finally, my omnibuses for Secret Wars and Secret Wars Battle World. So I've been revisiting Jonathan Hickman's story, and it's really compelling stuff. And I was wondering, how can they do this like without the X-Men? This is going to seem odd because I love it. I think Infinity War and Endgame are 2 of the most entertaining fantasy movies ever made. And having worked on special features for X-Men 1 and X2, I mean, I love the Bryan's X-Men movies. I love all 4 of them. I do love Apocalypse, and for all of its, its third act problems, I think. But here's the thing. I just don't care. I mean, I never thought, Avengers Doomsday, they're putting everything, it's going to be like, I hope. See, the thing is, Deadpool and Wolverine, to me, was a huge disappointment. It was a hugely disappointing movie because it really wasn't about anything. It was like a goof. And what I wanted was a combination, and admittedly, this is what I wanted was Days of Future Past meets a Deadpool movie. But there's nothing in this movie that's earned to me. Like they had Professor X come back in Multiverse of Madness and he got taken out by Scarlet Witch. And I'm looking at all this, and unless they can, unless they make it really compelling, and they make it, so you got the Fantastic Four, you've got the Thunderbolts, you've got the X-Men. Where are the Avengers? Is there no Doctor Strange? I mean, I know that they're still going to reveal cast or whatever, but I have no faith that this multiverse gobbledygook has not been handled well, and I don't care. I loved the Marvel Cinematic Universe, loved it. But everything after Endgame, everything that I look forward to has been wildly disappointing. And the funny thing is, the movie I think I like the most, I mean, I really like Shang-Chi, but I like the Eternals. And the Eternals, which not a lot of people like, I like it because to me, it's sort of an interesting science fiction superhero movie that they have not really incorporated back into. I mean, they followed it up in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but they didn't even mention. They might as well. Well, this is Celestial Island. Like nobody cared. No one mentioned Arishem the judge coming saying, "We're going to judge you," and it's just been really not well handled. It's been very haphazard, and I've been quite disappointed. So this Doomsday reveal, I'm like, look, I hope it's good. I really want it to be good, but all of these, I saw some, I never know on the internet now if anything's real, but there was a picture I saw of James, what looked like James Marsden in the Jim Lee animated X-Men uniform. I love that uniform. If they go with that, that's cool. But I'm like, so who cares? I just don't care. They have to make me care.
For me, it was just 5 hours too long. It should have been an hour, or you should have had some names that people don't know who they would be playing. That the fan base could speculate who will be playing, who's in the movie, or what role he will be playing. But there was everything, who would be playing what. And then that stretched out for 5 hours was a little bit overboard. Even if I liked the idea of the chairs, I liked. But it should have been.
I thought it was fun. I just
every 2 minutes, it was almost 30 people. Every 2 minutes, another chair. An hour, be done with it. But 5 hours.
Yeah,
not revealing anything besides perhaps the X-Men.
I mean,
really
to me, this whole thing has been gimmicky from the beginning. They're leaning into, and I had heard about the Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom for a long time before it was announced. I kind of had to sit on that. I couldn't say anything about it, and what I was told is interesting to me. I was like, okay, I could see that. That could be interesting, but none of this is earned. We're going into this movie, it's almost as if this is a soft reboot, and I'm supposed to get excited about a bunch of gobbledygook being thrown at the screen. There's been no build up to this. How does this? What I mean, I'm
telling how Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four will be doing. Since they're both completely in the cast for Avengers Doomsday. So
yeah, I mean, I'm like, so you have the X-Men, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four. Although the asterisks by the Thunderbolts. The new theory is that the movie's actually called The Sentry. Okay, that's why they're keeping that there.
Perhaps after CinemaCon, you can tell us perhaps a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think, look, this Avengers Doomsday movie is coming out a year from now, and I'll go see it.
Yeah,
and I'll go in with. I'll buy the popcorn bucket. If there's a Dr. Doom head popcorn bucket, I'll buy that shit. I don't know. I just hopefully, just give me a good story, man. Give me a good story. Make me care. First of all. So, why, Gemma Chan, please, please give me Gemma Chan back. That's what I want in my life. I want Gemma Chan in whatever way, shape, or form.
I can totally understand that. And switching over, don't get upset, people. The only streaming stuff that I have finished up, of course, was Reacher season 3, as you would say, or Mark Kermit, a potato and meat show. Once again, greatly entertaining. Can't wait for the season 4. Should we do a movie, Rob, considering Reacher, or should we keep it in the series format?
Well, it's funny you say that. No, you could do a movie. You could do a movie. I mean, you never know.
I had a great time. I
feel like I'm in a place where my life might have something movie related in the future that was not a movie to begin with, but might be a movie now. You never know.
Okay.
One just never knows. So to make a Reacher, why not? I mean, the X-Files, Batman 66, there was a theatrical movie. They made 2 X-Files movies. By the way, do you know who wrote the novelization for the second X-Files movie?
No.
True Noir's very own
Max Allen
Mystery
Collins.
Writers of America Grandmaster Max
Yeah.
Allen Collins wrote the novelization
Nice.
for X-Files. And I'll tell you, I have not read that novelization, but I guarantee you it's better than the movie.
And the other question, Rob, have you begun watching The Studio on Apple?
I've watched the first 2 episodes of The Studio.
Yeah. Me too.
First of all, I love the fact that Bryan Cranston is called Griffin Mill, because Griffin Mill is the name of the main character in the movie The Player
Okay.
And why am I drawing a blank on his name? But Griffin Mill was the name of the character, and now it's funny that they use that name. Look, I think that The Studio is pretty funny, but I wish it was more. It's almost over the top.
Okay,
I wish, like when I think back to I've told everybody to watch the Barry Levinson film, What Just Happened, starring Robert De Niro. And it is a more sort of a serious take on the same themes, but it comes at it from a producer's perspective instead of a studio executive's perspective. But I mean, there are things like in the second episode where Seth Rogen, when he parks his car up that driveway. Yeah. And while it was a great payoff for a joke, it really bothered me because a film crew would have spotted that. And it made, I know this is such a stupid thing for me to get mad about, but I'm like, it showed that a film crew is not incompetent. And if someone's going to do a oneer, you would have, the ADs would have walked that and made sure that there was no obstruction. So that would have never happened.
But I think, Rob, it worked because they wanted to keep him out of it,
Right, yeah.
It did everything to keep him away.
No, it's true. It's true. But it was what he did with the Kool-Aid movie and Martin Scorsese and all that stuff was hilarious.
Hilarious.
And you know what? I think the show is going to show us the Kool-Aid movie getting made. Probably we'll see the Kool-Aid movie getting made, and I love that Nick Stoller's the director of it. Because they've worked together in real life, and
yeah, it's the combination of the
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's really, really good. And Seth, all the actors, and Catherine Hahn is everybody's great. Everybody's great.
And then the second episode was a 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely up there now. To me, the pantheon of great modern movies about movie making. Beginning with like The Stuntman, Blake Edwards' S.O.B., The Player, The Big Picture with Kevin Bacon, and What Just Happened, and now this. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
When he tried to convince Marty, could we name the movie Kool-Aid? Okay.
So funny. I do have to say that to me was the best thing when you realize that Martin Scorsese's telling you about Jonestown, and you're like, that could be interesting, and then the slow realization of the drinking of the Kool-Aid after he's got to make a Kool-Aid. It's just, that was the greatest thing. That was hilarious. Hilarious.
Awesome. So Rob, do we go into physical media, or do we have something else?
Yeah, I don't have much. I'm my second sight scanners and the Brood are stuck in customs.
Yeah.
Probably because they've looked at my list and they're not going to let me have those movies. They're probably thinking that since they came from the UK or something, these are not friendly countries with the US anymore. So,
put some tariffs on them.
Yeah, throw those tariffs on there because America's great now, right? Woohoo!
Ooh. So should we start, Rob? Show some physical media.
Yeah, you start. You go right ahead.
And people are always complaining about, the wokeness of everything, but it was already back in the day. You had movies like this one from 88 Films. The Lady is the Boss from 1983. Comes with the cover artwork. And the movie gets totally saved by the last half hour, I would say. The first hour was not really that funny. She comes from the States and wants to do new marketing for their martial arts school to get new clients. But the last half hour really, really saved it. The Lady is the Boss already in 1983, if I'm correct here. Yeah, 1983. Ladies Boss. Cat in the Bags. A lot of them, actually. Sometimes you buy just movies for the cover artwork. As far as I know, this is some kind of parody. At least it's uncut and 18. It's called Spider Babe. It's an older one.
Oh, yeah.
Got a release here. So nothing fancy, but it got a reversible cover artwork, so I could get rid of the German rating. Spider Babe. Cat in the Bag. Next Cat in the Bag. A sci-fi movie from Asia, but this is the English, the UK Blu-ray from Signature. It's called Escape from the 21st Century. It's rated 15 for
it's a documentary.
Strong violence, injury detail. Step into the unexpected. I'm fancy to it. Just a disc. The next one was Amazon had a little bit of a spring sale where they had some Schnäppchens. And I bought this because I knew that the original version or the version in, I think, Thailand is longer, but this is just the international cut, which is shorter. But it was a Schnäppchen. It's called 578 Magnum. So the original version is longer here, reversible cover, so it gets rid of the rating. But since it was price reduced, I'm giving this a shot because I think they only cut out, not action, the other stuff, talkative stuff. The next one is the other way around. We have the Japanese version on it and the international cut too. And there's a difference. I saw about half an hour actually. So this is the Japanese version. The original version goes 2.5 hours. The movie is called 11 Rebels.
Cool.
But Cat in the Bag. But the international version is on there too. And the next one up you had in the news section. And it really looked interesting to me. The reviews are all over the place. Love, hate. But I'm quite surprised because it comes from Shudder. What Shudder did with this, a little bit more than they usually do. The movie Strings that you had in the news section. This is already the reversible cover artwork. So you have reversible cover artwork, but that's not all. Because Shudder put in 2 postcards in it for the movie. And not only that, a booklet is in it too. Actually, pretty thick one. Just see here, keywords. So I have no idea the movie is about. We'll go in blind. But the reviews were almost all over the place for this one. So the Strings from Shudder, actually. And it's always great that Shudder, even if they have their own streaming service, are still releasing their movies on Blu-ray. And especially, I was surprised that this comes with the booklet and those 2 postcards. Then in that spring sale from Amazon, I bought this because I certainly am sure I have the 2 Blu-rays, but not the 4Ks. This contains the 4Ks and the Blu-rays, but it was at a Schnäppchen price. 48 hours and another 48 hours are both in
there you go
in this set. So nothing special, Paramount, but at least both movies a little bit price reduced. Then I don't think shown it, but it was certainly in the news section. We have Night of the Creeps, Short Factory. We have 3.
Yeah, I don't have mine. Didn't come. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I put it in with an order of something that's not out.
with of course the director's cut, but no different.
You're looking a
color
little
variations,
choppy
so
there,
nothing-
buddy. I don't know why.
Okay. Nothing too fancy.
How many discs are in there? 3?
3, correct. You
Wow.
have the Blu-ray, the 4K, and bonus features. Yeah, these 3 are the bonus features.
Sweet.
And this one you showed last week, Rob, and on your recommendation, I bought.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't get to it. That reversible cover artwork from Kino Lorber, because it came in, I think, Friday or something like that.
Dude,
had
you're
time.
going to love that movie.
Okay.
Love that movie.
Okay. I trust you, my friend. But then,
You should, because I have impeccable taste.
and then from Criterion, Godzilla versus Violente.
Oh, man, I
Mr.
can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait to get that. I really can't.
Same as the, of course, US one. Comes with the 4K Blu-ray, and we have, of course, the booklet for it. Or is it a poster? Oh, it's the post. It's a poster actually. Or it's actually, as usual, both. From Criterion. So this was my first haul. For this week.
Well, that's good. A fine haul it is, Dietz. I got to tell you. So, just for research purposes, I went to watch The Quick and the Dead, Sam Raimi's The Quick and the Dead, and I realized I don't have it. I don't have The Quick and the Dead. I'm like, how can I not have The Quick and the Dead? Now I have it.
Fine.
Now,
finally.
I mean, and I got it for a Schnäppchen. I was like, how can I not have The Quick and the Dead? So
That's certainly a fail.
it's funny because I've gone back and there's a lot of 4K discs that I don't have that I would want. This being one of them. I was surprised because you've got, Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Sharon Stone. What's not to love? And Gene Hackman, of course. And that's kind of why I wanted to go back and watch this. And I realized, how can I not have The Quick and the Dead? Don't know. But I did get so my second sight boxes are in customs. So all I got this week was, because I knew I was going to be gone, so I didn't want to have a lot of I didn't order stuff coming in this week, so it'll come in next week. But I did get a box from Kino Lorber, which is always a pleasure, because there's always interesting stuff in Kino Lorber boxes, and I judge how good my week is when a Kino Lorber box comes in, and if it's double-sized. So this one was, but I knew that we're kind of in between their, call them marquee titles. So there's some really interesting, their documentaries are great. So they sent me, look, you know me. Oh, why do I keep, I don't know what I'm doing to my computer, but I keep losing the screen. I love my cults. One day I'm going to start my satanic cult, but no adrenochrome drinking. Nothing like that. But the the Japanese, the sarin gas attack people in Japan, it's a documentary about this cult. You know what? I don't know enough about this cult, but the fact that I have this documentary, it's like this documentary came out just for me. So thank you, Kino Lorber. I'm going to take notes, and I promise that my satanic cult will not be doing any kind of sarin gas attacks. We're going to be more highbrow. We're going to be more devil's advocate Satan worshipers, not weird drink the Kool-Aid, not Jonestown cult members. No. We're going to control high finance. We're going to do all that kind of thing. Here's something they sent me. Again, these are DVDs. I think this is a French film, Unbroken. I don't know anything about it. And then season 6 and 7 of The Art of Crime. I don't believe I have seasons 1 through 5. Maybe I can alleviate that. And then winner of 6 Italian Academy Awards, There's Still Tomorrow, which looks very interesting to me. So, hey, thank you for those, Kino Lorber. Pretty great. But the thing that they sent me, and then, of course, there's a Peter Sellers movie I've never seen called Heavens Above. I know this was coming out, but it's Peter Sellers. So I will, in fact, watch it. And then let's see the second Peter Sellers movie, I'm All Right, Jack. Which, you know, if you know your Pink Floyd The Wall, keep your hands off my stack. Or actually, that's not New Car, Caviar, 4-Star Daydream. That's Dark Side of the Moon, right? I think I'll buy me a football team. And then The Cruel Sea, which is a British seafaring film from 1953. So I'll watch anything where men at sea are in trouble. Denholm Elliott from Raiders of the Lost Ark's in this one. And then, of course, the Liza Minnelli documentary. You can't go wrong. I'm a Liza Minnelli fan. I'll admit it. Ever since I saw Cabaret, but mostly Arthur. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I'm a straight man that loves Liza Minnelli. I don't know what that says about me. That's why they call me gay adjacent, I guess. But a truly terrific, absolutely true story. Liza Minnelli documentary. What's not to love? But I think my favorite thing that Kino Lorber sent me was a new Kino cult title. Bobby Joe and the Outlaw. Now, why? I have never seen this movie, but it stars Marjoe Gortner. And when I first got cable, when I was a kid, we first got Showtime. There was a movie that starred Marjoe Gortner called When You Comin' Back, Red Rider. And I became totally obsessed with who is Marjoe Gortner, because he's also in Star Crash. He plays Acton, one of the heroes of Star Crash. So Marjoe Gortner was like this preacher who became, by the way, it says that my screen is being observed. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Well, whoever's observing the screen, I hope you're enjoying yourself. So there you go. But maybe this is a new software thing. I don't know. You know, maybe they hope that I'm jerking off to porn or something. But anyway, so this movie, I had heard of this movie. This movie was directed by Mark Lester, who directed like Class of '84 and Firestarter, and it was written by Vernon Zimmerman, who wrote the movie Fade to Black. You know, it's Eric Binford. Remember that? Mickey Rourke? Well, Vinegar Syndrome put it out, and I have it. So I'm very curious to see this film. Let's see if it has a reversible sleeve, like all Kino cult titles, and lo and behold, it certainly does. So, Bobby Joe and the Outlaw, and this is Kino cult number 28. So there is the new cover.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a pretty cool cover. And so they sent me that. I really want to interview. I got to call Matt from Kino Lorber. I want to interview whoever's in charge of Kino Cult. I want to know how does one get their movie in. I have a certain movie I would love to see as a Kino Cult title, and it starts with the word free. So, hey, there you go. And then finally, what did Kino send me? A 4K, the classic John Wayne movie, Donovan's Reef. This is a great movie from 1963. And you know, I love this movie. Do you know who directed this movie? Yes, John Ford did, in fact, direct this movie. But I like this movie a lot. So it's cool to have it. It's cool to have it. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with Lee Marvin and John Wayne in one movie. So there you go. That's what I got this week from Kino Lorber, because I don't have the Brood and I don't have Scanners because they're stuck in customs.
They will be with you shortly. At least.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Do we have some super chats, Rob?
We do have some super chats.
Okay.
So let me go and see what we have as far as those go. Are people writing in? we shall see. First of all, Stubble McShave sends in a tip.
Yeah.
And he says, when I talk with normies at work, they used to be into the MCU, and now they don't care at all. They may check out new MCU movies on streaming, but that's not a given. Disney really have to sell the movies well, and the films leading up to Avengers better be good. I mean, I think all we're getting before Avengers is Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. And I mean, I think that they can, if those movies are good, that'll be an interesting ramp up. You know, maybe they'll make us excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
We'll see. 200 Watt Studio.
Not that you are saying, Rob, is there not one movie more coming out between?
I don't know off the top of my head. I guess I'll find out. It's
almost a year, probably.
Yeah, I mean, well, it'll be less. It'll be 10 months because Fantastic Four comes out in July. I mean, I don't know if there's. I mean, it's really weird. We don't know. I'm sure they're going to add Captain Marvel, and they're going to add. I mean, Scarlet Witch. I don't think that she's coming back. Who knows? I mean, I really don't know who they're. Who are the Avengers? You're making an Avengers movie with no Avengers. I mean, Thor's, I guess, coming
for
back.
The next 20 chairs.
Yeah. So we'll see. Miele says that Doom will connect to Deadpool and Wolverine by him killing the X-Men. I don't know about that. We'll see what happens. I mean, Paul Allen Bernardo says, have a great time at CinemaCon, Rob. Always exciting. Major Chai celebrates 14 months of membership, and she says, my daughter and I are seeing Death of a Unicorn later today. Get well soon and safe travels to Las Vegas. Well, hopefully. And 200 Watt Studio says that Shout Factory announced Hard Boiled as their first 4K release of the Golden Harvest deal. I think it'll be a full top-to-bottom restoration with theatrical audio. You know what? I read that on Dawn of the Discs. I haven't read an actual Shout Factory press release to that effect, but I don't doubt you. I think they have a lot they're gonna have to accomplish with those movies they don't keep those negatives the way we keep them here. And if they're doing a full 4K restoration, I would imagine they're gonna go all out. I mean, the best disc, Hong Kong Rescue, that guy, too bad he kind of imploded, but Hong Kong Rescue did great versions of The Killer and Hard Boiled on disc, and I would hope that we would get something along those lines with all the different soundtracks and the different cuts of the film, but hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I hope that they're great because, boy, I mean, I think it's great. It's great to lead off with Hard Boiled. A long time. Yeah. I mean, Hard Boiled, Better Tomorrow, 1, 2, and 3.
The Killer.
God of Gamblers, The Killer, Bullet in the Head, all that stuff. We'll see. I really hope they're great, but I don't know the answer to any of that stuff yet. We'll see. But Shout Factory's got their work cut out for them, so we'll see what's going on. Castle Grayskull celebrates 7 months of membership. Well, thank you, Castle Grayskull.
Nice.
We will be doing a members chat next week, and I won't know what to do with myself. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my life now that True Noir is done. Maybe there's something else I could be doing with True Noir. No one knows. But maybe there is. You never know. Castle Grayskull says, Rob, have some tea with lemon and honey. Yes, I'm going to do that. Hitchhiker42 says, hi, Rob, I've got a package to send you, including Carry On Screaming. But I can't find your P.O. box anywhere, and the website appears to be gone. Just send me an email at rmburnett1701@gmail.com. If anybody wants to reach me, that's rmburnett at 170. It's rmburnett1701@gmail.com. Send me an email, and I'll hit you back with my address. Marco says, really into the series at the moment. I watched Paradise because of you. Loved looking forward to where it could go. Love the music too. And on to the next show. Yeah, I know. I'm glad you liked Paradise. It's great. I really liked it a lot. And, I mean, it's great. The studio reaches over. Andor, I've heard nothing but very, 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 very positive things about Andor Season 2. Hopefully that's true. Can't wait to see that. So that's coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have still more stuff to show, Rob.
Show it, baby.
still choppy, perhaps.
No, you're
in-
good now. You're
You're
good
now. Okay.
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
Rob,
Show it
I
to
did
us.
get
Lay
a
it on
bill.
us.
I got a bill from A24.
Don't you love that?
Bill.
What did you get from? What'd you
Yeah.
get from them? So they
will
ship
show.
internationally, huh?
The shipping costs are pretty expensive, but the customs is included, so I don't have to worry
Oh,
about
okay, that's good.
hidden fees later. So the first one, and I'm a little at odds. I love their digipacks and hate them at the same time because they are pretty thick to get them out. The first one, I heard good things about it, bad things about it. Some people love the movie. I have to make up my own mind. The movie is called I Saw the TV
Right.
Glow.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm going to buy it. I've heard
yeah,
a lot of
that's-
interesting things about it.
A lot of interesting things, like you said. And what I like about A24 is always here they show if it's just a Blu-ray or it's
Right.
it's a 4K here at the bottom. And the problem is they are already they're always thick with the cards they are put in there. So you have the digi for it. Love how the disc looks. And then we have the cards for the movie. But I've not seen it have so many different things from hate to love, everything in it, which is mostly often a good thing. If you have that great spectrum of people loving or hating the movie, it's most often better to have a movie that way than just it's middle of the road for everybody.
Totally agree. 100%.
So that could be a pearl. Wait, I'm putting that aside, putting that back later, because it will be tricky. The next one, because I quite enjoyed it. Baby Girl. This is a 4K. So same principle. That's what I meant. The problem, get the digi out, but they are always look great inside, and it comes with art cards too. So we've got our baby girl. Yeah. Just put it aside. Next one. Actually 4. This is not with the book. I think there was an edition that came with the book. This is just the normal version, but it is the 4K of der Aronofsky's Pie. And just see. I can get the digi out here.
Yeah, I have that. It's great.
Looks like this. I think there was an edition with a book, or even more expensive edition.
Yeah.
That looks like a nice coffee and cake movie to me.
It is not a coffee and cake movie.
Let me just see. There have timestamps on the back. So from which scene that actually is scene 2 from different scenes here. So we have a little bit of a timestamp on the back. And the last one, which I quite enjoyed, is, of course, Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Or, of course, with Thatcher, which is the 4K for it. Oh, this was easier than the other two. It's like this. It's the inside. Love the coloring. Not like the Paramount discs who always look like a bootleg. And this is actually pretty nice here on the back too. I forgot, considering I saw the TV Glow, to look at the back of the cards.
Yeah.
So you still have stuff here. Just see. Nice one. Nice cages. Hope everyone has seen the movie already. So this was the fourth one that I got from A24. And this is, I don't know if it's the first time, but I immediately can present you a second version from the Heretic that I bought. Because I bought a German media book, thinking, okay, I just keep one. I love the cover artwork here too. So this is the German media book. This nice blueberry pie candle. So this is 2, comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray. So we've got both worlds and the media book part. Heretic, German media book.
Nice.
Okay, Rob. Second haul, and I put everything back together, and I give it over to you.
Over to me? What am I supposed to do? I don't. What me?
For some super chats.
What am I gonna do?
What is going on?
Super chats are good. Let me see. Kenny Colton says at CinemaCon they have a movie called Hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Rob's room at Caesar's Palace, and my ass still hurts. Kenny, you're not supposed to tell anybody that. You know, the asses involved in that film were anonymous for a reason. And why you gotta have to harsh my mellow? I mean, come on, I'm still trying to sell Hemorrhoids.
Unbelievable.
Look what you do. You sell me out right here on my own show. Terrible. Tom Jr. Jackson says, book recommendation, Rob. Tom Clancy's Act of Defiance. It is a sequel in many ways to The Hunt for Red October. You will like it. Oh, hi, Dita. Well, here's the thing. Tom Clancy's been not with us for a long time, so is it another one of those ghost-written books with just his name on it? But
okay,
we will see. Oh, Marco. Oh, I already read Marco's thing about watching Paradise. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I can jump right into the news, Dieter, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do, Rob.
I gotta say, with Shout Factory doing Golden Harvest, giving us the John Woo movies and everything else that means, everyone's been waiting for the 4Ks of the James Bond franchise. And look, in a perfect world, we'd be getting a box set of
Rob,
all.
Wasn't it Golden Princess, not Golden Harvest?
I said Golden Princess. No. Yes, it's Golden Princess. Golden Harvest Princess. Yes, I stand corrected. So we're getting the Sean Connery Bonds, and they,
Logan was right.
Yes, so we're getting the Sean Connery Bonds now. When were these transfers done? I don't know. It's hard to say. But here's, Warner Brothers is putting these out, and I will read. Warner Brothers Home Entertainment is prepping the 4K Blu-ray collections of the classic James Bond films starring Sean Connery. The 6-disc collections are scheduled to arrive on the market on June 3rd. And it's a steelbook collection. And it will include 6 steelbooks featuring unique art, all 6 Eon 007 Sean Connery films on 4K Blu-ray. By the way, unfortunately, Crispin Glover reported that his father, Bruce Glover, who was in Diamonds Are Forever, passed away. So shout out to Bruce Glover, which is too bad. But of course, these include Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever. Now, James Bond has a lot of great poster art, so let's hope that Warner Brothers does not fuck it up. And I will be looking to Warner Brothers UK to see what they're doing with their Bond collections, because I'm not holding my breath for the American.
You can get them both as a steelbook set and as a normal Blu-ray set, as a normal 4K set.
Yeah, I mean, I want the steelbooks. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the fact that I never have to buy these movies ever again. I mean, I just don't. I don't.
That would
Excuse
be
me.
nice. That would be nice.
I mean, how many times have I bought the Bond movies in my life? More than I care to admit. But these are going to be the definitive versions, I hope. So, pretty cool. We'll see what the artwork looks like. Other than that, there's no specs. But it's going to come with some kind of an exclusive library case. I mean, it wouldn't bother me if they're going to do, because we've already got the Daniel Craig Bonds out in 4K. Yeah. I hope they re-release them in a certain kind of, now that Amazon, you know, owns the Bond films, it's cool that we're getting them. If they give us, I mean, I don't know what that's going to do for.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Why are they getting released over Warner?
Well, because Warner now has the rights to the Warner Brothers owns the rights to certain MGM titles to distribute. It's all very complicated. But never say never against Warner. I mean, it would be really interesting. Like, on Her Majesty's Secret Service is going to be a standalone. So if they give you a library steelbook case, I understand why they're doing it. So you get the Roger Moore, you'll get the Sean Connery collection. I hope they give us Timothy Dalton and then Pierce Brosnan. But what are they going to do with On Her Majesty's Secret Service? They probably don't even know there's a movie called On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Did you do the Sean Connery set, the Roger Moore set, and then the other three combined in one? You know, 4 Daltons, 2 Daltons, 4 Brosnans, and On Your Majesty's Secret Service.
That's a good idea.
3.
But then again, for us completists, you can't put them in order.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's you could do Dalton. You could do Dalton, of course. I mean, it's just look, again, it's part of why America is falling apart at the seams right now, because nobody's thinking. Nobody knows what's going on. The people at Warner Brothers aren't thinking this through. They're like, okay, we're going to do Sean Connery. You're taking the easy way out. What they should do is make a really cool box, like make a steelbook box for all 25 Bond films. Like if they did that, it's 20. Say it was $200. I would buy them, and you buy them, eat the films individually, and you get to put them in this box.
That would be a heavy box, Rob.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not heavy. It's my brother. I would love to have that box set. I would love to have it because I've already got my Bond 50 set, which I love, you know. But they don't think in those. I mean, I'm sure nowadays, whatever, kids today don't care. They just don't know anything. It bothers me. Whatever. We're getting Connery Bonds in 4K. And at my age, every time we get something like that, I'm thinking, great. Hopefully, you know, I'm getting it before we die. So that's good.
Fingers crossed.
Feel good about it. Feel good. But it's coming. Very excited. I mean, look, I hope the transfers are great. I hope they're not. Yeah, I hope they've been
the most important thing.
Revised or whatever. Yeah, it is the most important thing. Which is pretty cool. So there you go. Then we have this coming out, which I know nothing about. Last Known Address. Last Known Address is coming out from Kino Lorber. And this is a film, Jose Giovanni's Last Known Address from 1970. It's about a police inspector, a tough, efficient policeman, is sent to a second-rate police station after being reprimanded. Then he's given a partner, the young and beautiful Jean Dumas, and the duo was soon assigned a very difficult mission to track down a man whose evidence can help convict a murderer. They begin searching for him in Paris, and it's a new 4K restoration. I love French cop movies, so I'm all in on this. And now we get to it. I mean, let's hear it. Let's hear it for Arrow. Arrow has been knocking this shit out of the park. despite they've had some disc issues, okay, but they're still going hard. My God, Dark City, they're coming in hot. This Dark City box set, it's a 4K Blu-ray. It includes both films, both the director's cut and the studio mandated cut, or as I like to call it, the dumb version and the smart version. The studio cut, which gives away the movie in the first. It has a thing at the beginning that totally
exposition dump, Rob.
so stupid. But hey, we'll get both versions. It's definitive. I love this cool artwork, and of course, if you haven't seen Dark City, do not watch the theatrical version. But it's a brand new 4K restoration from the original 35 camera negatives, approved by director of photography Dariusz Wolski. 2 cuts of the movie, the director's cut and theatrical cut. The theatrical cut of this movie is dead to me. It's got the original DTS HD MA 5.1, and then it's got the 2.0 stereo and a new Dolby Atmos option for both cuts of the film.
Okay, nice.
English subtitles, a 60-page perfect bound collector's book featuring new writing, limited edition packaging, double-sided fold-out poster, 3 postcard-sized reproduction art cards, a postcard from Shell Beach, and a Dr. Schreiber business card. I don't have to explain any of those to you if you've seen the movie. It has a brand new audio commentary by director Alex Proyas, a brand new audio commentary with Craig Anderson, Bruce Isaacs, and Herschel Isaacs, the co-host of the Film versus Film podcast. And then it's got the archival audio commentary by director Alex Proyas, and, believe it or not, the archival audio commentary by film critic Roger Ebert, who loved this movie and did a commentary on the original New Line release of the film. Audio commentary by writers Lem Dobbs and David S. Goyer, archival introduction by Alex Proyas, and a new hour-long documentary featuring interviews with Alex Proyas, producer Andrew Mason, production designers Patrick Tatopoulos and George Liddell, costume designer Liz Keogh, storyboard artist Peter Pound, director of photography Dariusz Wolski, actor Rufus Sewell, hair and makeup artist Leslie Vanderwait, and VFX creator Peter Doyle. Rats in a Maze, a new visual essay by film scholar Alexandra West. I'm as much in the dark as you are, a new visual essay by film scholar Josh Nelson on film noir and identity in Dark City. So it is chock-a-block full of stuff, and on the theatrical cut, all of the rest of the archival special features. This is very exciting, and Arrow continues to do amazing work. They're also like re-releasing, I don't know if they ever actually released their special edition of Witness.
I'm not sure.
But it's coming out, and I really wanted it. I don't know why. I'd ordered it, and then it just didn't show up. And now they're putting it out. They're also, if you didn't get the Vinegar Syndrome version, they're doing Roadhouse.
Yeah.
So if you missed out on Roadhouse, you can get it from them. They're also doing Swordfish.
Awesome.
Which there's 2 reasons to buy this movie. And if you know what those 2 reasons are, good for you, because it's worth it just for that. Then we've got
Joel Silver producing times.
That's right. That's when Joel Silver knew what was up. Now, okay, this is one of the great thrillers of the 1970s. Kino Lorber has previously released this on 4K, and I watched it, and I love this movie. I might pick this up because it's so awesome. It's one of the great 70s thrillers about people that
It has the artwork that you showed underneath it, Rob. The original artwork.
Yeah, and I love this movie. If you guys have never seen this movie, it comes highly. This is one of my favorite. Everyone knows that I love grungy New York movies from the 70s where people look like real people. This is one of those movies. I think Robert Shaw is the best looking person in this movie. Everybody looks like a real New Yorker. It's just one of the great grunge fests of New York that isn't Basket Case or Driller Killer. But it's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend this highly enough. It's also got a great score. This is just a great crime thriller. I really love this movie a lot. And I will probably be buying it. And then they're putting out The Invisible Swordsman, which I don't know anything about, but this cover makes me want to buy it.
Me neither.
And it's coming out from Arrow, so we should all buy what Arrow puts out. And then, of course, if you're a Captain Planet fan, the complete franchise is coming. Captain Planet and the Planeteers, a cartoon that knows more about the future of humanity than the current administration. Yes, there is global warming. Just saying. And then we have The Great Chase coming out from Neon Video. Calderon Films' partner label is preparing a Blu-ray release of Norifumi Suzuki's The Great Chase from 1975. I don't know anything about this, but I'll tell you, this is pretty exciting. The sister Street Fighter herself, Asuko Shiomi, stars as Shinobu Yashiro, an accomplished race car driver who has a side hustle working undercover for the Japanese Defense Agency. Her latest assignment is to break up a heroin smuggling operation that may also be behind the murder of her father. Directed with exuberance by exploitation expert Norifumi Suzuki, The Great Chase is an action-packed, consistently surprising, pinky violence light adventure caper filled with fights and explosions and with just a hint of sleaze to sweeten the deal. It's also chock-a-block full of oddball details that will keep you on your toes the entire 83-minute running time. See singing lady wrestlers, drug running, whip-wielding nuns, a blow-dart-spewing assassin dressed like a Native American for no reason, a Nazi-loving Catholic bishop drug lord who sports a ratty bear suit to assault kidnapped girls. Witness Asuko and her no-doubt underpaid double to do truly perilous and death-defying stunts. Hear an absolutely banging funk jazz soundtrack that propels the whole movie along at a breakneck pace. Well, count me in. Everything about this sounds lovely. So, there you go.
And that all in 83 minutes.
All in 83 minutes. And then we've got Rico the Mean Machine. And no, this looks like it's about the guy who stars in a Serbian film, but it doesn't. This is also from Calderon Films. Rico the Mean Machine is from 1973, and it stars Christopher Mitchum, Barbara Boucher, yum, yum, yum. Rico Aversi, played by Chris Mitchum, emerges from a short prison sentence to find that Don Oviedo, played by Arthur Kennedy, the ruthless smuggler who murdered his father, has also stolen his girlfriend. With the help of the ravishing petty thief Sela, played by Barbara Boucher from Don't Torture Duckling and Star Trek, he makes his way through the dastardly cast of characters who betrayed him in a legendary fury of blood-drenched vengeance. So it's a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative. So you go, Calderon Films. Let's watch that. Now, this is very interesting. We have both Paul Morrissey's Andy Warhol movies. We have both Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood of Dracula coming out. So Andy Warhol's directed by Paul Morrissey. They have been released previously in 4K, but these are new versions. So they're from Screenbound. It's a British label, Screenbound. They're doing 4K releases of Flesh for Frankenstein from 1973 and Blood for Dracula from 1974. They're coming out on May 12th. And I don't believe they are the 3D version. It doesn't say anything about that. But they're full of special features. And if you know the films, they're a hoot. In Flesh for Frankenstein, it has one of my favorite lines of dialogue in it, which I'm paraphrasing sort of. But it's Dr. Frankenstein says, "To know life, you must first fuck death in the gallbladder." I'm just saying. I don't make it up, but that's in the movie. And you get to see that. You get to actually see that happen. So if you haven't seen these movies, boy, why haven't you? Get on it right now, because they're going to get on you. And then we've got this film coming out from Second Run. And this is a movie called Oil Lamps. And it is from 1971. And it is this sounds actually, this is from the director of The Cremator and Morgiana. It's adapted from a novel, a bitter psychosexual romance steeped in a fin de siècle decadence, Oil Lamps centering on tragic marriage between two cousins. A vivacious, modern-minded, wealthy young woman who is desperately seeking love and happiness. She is hopelessly mismatched with Pavel, a dashing but arrogant and self-serving retired army officer weighed down by debt, cynicism, and syphilis. It's a Czechoslovakian film. Hey, man, I'm just telling you what it's about.
Yeah.
So, communist Czechoslovakia. Then We have Imprint. Imprint is coming in hot. They've got their new Asian releases. Shaw Brothers Horror Volume 1. Portrait in Crystal from 1983. The Lost Bladesman from 2011. And then they've got the Shock Horror Collection. And the Hardbox features brand new special features for all three of these films. The Oily Maniac, Seeding of a Ghost, and Sex Beyond the Grave. Worldwide first on Blu-ray. So, hey, if you want to have sex beyond the grave, this Shaw Brothers Horror Collection has got you covered. And then, of course, we have these other ones that I mentioned, Portrait in Crystal, and, of course, The Lost Bladesman. So, The Lost Bladesman is an iconic martial arts... Oh, Donnie Yen stars in this historical martial arts epic from the director of Internal Affairs. The best film to date by a considerable margin, delivers a solid hour of nonstop action. That's cool. Okay, I'm in on that. Very exciting. Then let's go back to Portrait in Crystal and see what that's about. Portrait in Crystal is the master of the modern-day crime thriller, lends his directing skills to this amazing kung fu crime fantasy. Hua Shan impressed audiences with such films as the Criminals trilogy, then dazzled them in an entirely different way by helming the superheroic Super Inframan. Oh, and Flying Guillotine 2. I'm in. I'm getting a Portrait in Crystal. He combines those two genres for this unusual and gripping adventure story starring Pai Pao, long the favorite go-to guy for most of Shaw Brothers' best kung fu filmmakers.
You can do a double feature, Portrait in Crystal and The Magic Crystal.
There you go.
Contains Richard Norton.
Because somebody should. Kamen Rider, the new Kamen Rider trilogy coming out. This is all the new Shin Kamen Rider stuff. I'm actually going to get this because I love Kamen Rider and I love the design. This is my first experience. I mean, it's like the granddaddy of Super Sentai, so I'm going to pick this up.
Yeah.
Why not? And the new Kamen Rider stuff is actually really cool. So I'll get it. Then we have Yadang the Snitch. Now, I don't know if this is a boy band movie, but it's not. Well Go is putting it out, and they have a pretty great track record. So this film follows Kang Soo, a street-savvy survivor caught between the law and the criminal underworld. Falsely accused and sent to prison, he strikes a risky deal with an ambitious prosecutor to become an informant and earn his freedom. But as he dives deeper and deeper into the dangerous world of drug lords, corrupt officials, and deadly conspiracies, Kang Soo realizes he's just a pawn in a much bigger game, where trust is a luxury and betrayal comes at a price. So there you go. That sounds good. Right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got Heart of Stone, which is coming out from Eureka. We've got a few titles from Eureka. Heart of Stone is one of the films from DIFA, the East Germany, the GDR, and they were producing movies based on the folk tales by Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm. And so that's what Heart of Stone is, and by turns whimsical, weird, and darkly macabre. Heart of Stone is an arrestingly beautiful work of fantasy that established a template for DIFA's future folktales, including a penchant for scenes likely to induce nightmares in children, and was swiftly followed by the likes of The Devil from Mill Mountain, The Singing Ringing Tree, and Rumpelstiltskin. So The Heart of Stone, it's the first time on Blu-ray from a new 2K restoration. And I'm interested, if for no other reason than their space films are incredible. So why not? And then we've got coming out from Eureka as well, Hong Kong 1941. So pretty cool. And I can tell you what it's about. Would you like to know what Hong Kong 1941 is about? Hong Kong 1941, a versatile British-Chinese filmmaker whose career has spanned nearly 50 years. Po Chi Leong has worked in a variety of genres, and this was produced by Sammo Hung. Hong Kong 1941 follows... What's that?
Chow Yun-fat is in it.
Yes, Chow Yun-fat is in it. And along with Cecilia Yip and Alex Mann and Chow Yun-fat. And this is his breakout role. 1941 follows three Hong Kongers forced to negotiate life under occupation as their homeland falls to the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II. A story of loyalty and love, the film deals with one of the darkest periods in Hong Kong's history and was nominated for no less than 8 awards at the 1985 Hong Kong Film Awards and winning for its breathtaking cinematography. It also launched Chow Yun-fat to stardom 2 years before his first collaboration with John Woo in A Better Tomorrow. So, definitely something to get, which is cool. And then finally,
Nice.
we have Exact Revenge. And, this sounds like it appealed to you, right? Does Exact Revenge appeal to you?
It looks like.
Yes. Exact Revenge, The Enoch, and Exact Revenge, The Deadly Knives. And they were made just as the wuxia films were giving way to the Kung Fu movie in the wake of Bruce Lee's international success, and provide a fascinating insight into how the theme of revenge was retooled as one genre superseded another. So, that's pretty exciting. And, hey, why not? There you go. So that's what Eureka's putting out.
Eureka.
Then Bill Plimpton, I love Bill Plimpton, is putting out his film Mutant Aliens is coming to us. And I'm a big fan of, and this is coming from Deaf Crocodile, which is one of the more interesting companies out there. And this is his lovably twisted tribute to alien invasion films like The Quatermass Experiment, 20 Million Miles to Earth, and Mars Attacks. And it features an American astronaut named Earl Jensen, who's intentionally stranded in space by his evil boss. 20 years later, his now grown daughter is an astronomer with some serious lust for her hunky boyfriend. Their hanky-panky is both R-rated and hilarious, with his phallus in turns transforming into a charging rhino, a steam train, and an exploding volcano. I've never seen a penis do that, so maybe we should buy this movie and see what it's like. Their lovemaking and Dr. Fruber's evil plans are both interrupted by the unexpected return of her missing father, astronaut Earl, who reveals he apparently survived in space for the past 2 decades on a planet peopled, if that's the right word for it, by aliens who resemble human body parts. Tongues, fingers, eyeballs, and unidentified pink blobs. As brilliantly weird as ever for Plimpton, Mutant Aliens is also surprisingly sexy. Astronaut Earl's liaison with the fleshy pink alien blob queen shows that even in outer space, love knows no boundaries. Well, that was not on my bingo card, but hey, it's coming out.
Certainly not.
Then we got from 101 Films, Stuart Castle Freak, that Stuart Gordon directed, another full moon movie coming out, which is, I guess, somewhat exciting, I suppose. If you're into those things, and we're going to get to Full Moon in a minute, but Castle Freak is coming out. Very, very exciting. And then we also have Private Club. So Castle Freak is coming, and Private Club is coming. Private Club and 88 Films is putting this out, and the director blends sensuality with intrigue in the French erotic crime thriller Private Club, a.k.a. House of 1000 Pleasures. This is from 1974. The film follows a group of men lured into an extravagant brothel that promises unparalleled pleasure but hides a sinister secret. As the guests indulge in decadent fantasies, they soon realize they are trapped in a dangerous web of deception, blackmail, and murder. The movie captures the essence of 1970s European erotic cinema. I'm in. Count me in. Private Club is a favorite among fans of vintage Euro sleaze and crime thrillers. I'm telling you, that's what I want. So, hey.
That you will get next week, Cinema Conro.
That's absolutely what I want. So, hey, what I really, really want. So, Mamoru Hosoda has films coming out, new restorations of his film, Wolf Children, Summer Wars, which we've already talked about, and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I already own Summer Wars and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, so I will be buying Wolf Children. It's going to be out in 4K. We already talked about Summer Wars coming out in 4K and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. These are beautiful films. If you like Japanese animation, highly recommend them. And I haven't seen Wolf Children, but I've seen the other two. I own Summer Wars and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I actually have a very nice box set, but I will be getting these because they're in 4K, so that's cool. Then we also have, whatever this is, Harbin, and
Harbin, which it comes out, Rob. I have this on pre-order in the States as a 4K, actually, from Velgo USA. I think.
yeah, Welgo USA is putting this out, and so you know Harbin. I don't
It's a
know
4K
Harbin.
too, I think.
It's based on true events, and it's the gripping story of Korean independence fighter as he embarks on a daring mission in 1909 with Japan's annexation of Korea looming. Determined to alter history, On and his comrades plot a high-stakes assassination, one they hope will spark a revolution. Hey, it sounds like what's going to happen in Greenland. Looking forward to this. So there you go. That's coming out. Now we've got Severin bringing some heat. Jack the Ripper coming to us, which is exciting. So Severin's bringing us Jack the Ripper in 4K. And this came out in 1958. So this is very exciting. Classic film. Legendary showman Joseph E. Levine unleashed this grisly UK thriller on American moviegoers. But when audiences were horrified by the film's startling violence, graphic nudity, and bloody Technicolor climax, it became one of Levine's most infamous failures. Today, in its notorious European version and the rescored American cut, it remains among the more provocative shockers of its time. So here you go, and it's coming out in 4K. 2 versions of the film, HDR10, and that's very exciting. So you go, Severin. And then they're also bringing us The Unknown World. And this is a Cold War variation on Journey to the Center of the Earth. And it might have been written by Dalton Trumbo, blacklisted Dalton Trumbo. It's a 50s look at a startling turn into a grim abyss. As the world teeters on the brink of nuclear annihilation, a renegade scientist assembles a team of experts to drill deep into the world's Earth's core in search of a new ecosystem where humanity can survive. So this is an unjustly forgotten classic. Produced by visual effects artists Jack Rabin and Irving Block, who did Rocket Ship XM and Kronos. And it was directed by Terry O'Morse, who did the American Godzilla King of the Monsters, and filmed in Carlsbad Caverns. And this is a new uncut 4K from a Protection Internegative for the first time ever. So I want to get that. I would totally buy that. And they're also putting out the Doctor Who box set. That's right. Peter Cushing, for those of you who don't know, these are the theatrically released. The 2 Doctor Who movies are coming out from Severin in new 4K restorations. You've got Total Extermination, the Peter Cushing Doctor Who collection that has both Doctor Who and the Daleks, and it has Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD in 4K. Lots of chock-a-block special features. And boy, these are new. I bet they look great. Very, very cool if you're into the Peter Cushing Doctor Who films. Very exciting. I think this is definitely something to pick up. I like these movies. This is actually, I saw this. These are the first Doctor Who I ever saw. I saw these before I saw any of the TV show. So why not? Why not get these? I love the artwork. And, hey, good stuff. You go, Severin.
Nice.
I know, right? Really cool stuff. Now, finally, I hate their double dipping, but I'll buy it anyway because this movie's dope.
Yes, correct. Me too, Rob.
Yeah. So Where Evil Lurks, coming out in 4K. I do not like to do the double dip, but this movie's so good that you have to get it.
Totally.
This movie,
it's a steelbook. At least it's a steelbook then.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, why wouldn't you get it? Because it's so good.
It's awesome.
It is totally awesome. Then we have coming out from BFI, Eclipse. And again, I don't know much about this, but this is a 1977 film that stars Tom Conti, who I like. Let's see what they say. In Simon Perry's eerie, atmospheric, psychological thriller, Tom Conti stars as a bereaved brother troubled by memories of his twin, who he saw die at sea. Strange and unsettling in the tradition of the best flip sides, Eclipse now finds safe harbor on Blu-ray disc for the first time worldwide with a new scan made from an archival negative. sounds interesting. Why not? Sounds mysterious. So, hey, I'll definitely get that.
Eclipse. Okay.
Now we have Being Maria. This is a movie about the making of Last Tango in Paris. And it is debuted where Matt Dillon plays Marlon Brando in this movie. And it's all about the making of the movie. And it's developed a little bit of controversy because obviously Maria Schneider in her life talks a lot about whether or not she knew about the infamous scene. I can't say what it is because I'll get demonetized, but the scene where Marlon Brando asks her to get a stick of butter and they engage in certain sexual activity. But the thing is, the sexual activity they engage in was actually in the script. So the narrative that's been, I guess, built up around this and this movie is trying to say is that she was taken advantage of, even though it was, in fact, in the script. And now Lahane, the 40th anniversary of The Hate, the British Film Institute is doing a 4K release of Matthew Kosovitz's Lahane, starring Vincent Cassel. So if you have seen this movie, Criterion also put this out. Great film. Really, really, really great film. So yeah. And now we go to the charts. Let's see what we got. Top selling Blu-ray discs or all HD formats. Moana 2, Wicked, Godzilla vs. Biolante, number 3. That's hysterical.
Okay.
Criterion, I love it. Kraven the Hunter, I mean, Godzilla's having a resurgence, and that was Godzilla vs. Biolante. It was hard to get for a while. Kraven the Hunter, Wolfman, The Penguin Season 1, The Last of Us, the complete first season. You know what? I forgot. I realized I did get that this week. My steelbook came in. I forgot to get it.
Nice.
Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Red 1.
Red 1.
And then on 4K, we've got Godzilla vs. Biolante is the number 1 4K disc. The number 1 4K disc. You got it. I never would have thought that, but there it is. Gladiator 2.
Never expected it.
I know, Criterion at the top of the... Criterion's number 1 title is Godzilla vs. Biolante. The Last of Us, Moana 2, Wolfman, The Penguin, Season 1, Wicked, World War Z in 4K, Kraven the Hunter, and Akira.
Akira.
So there you go, man. That is all the news that is fit to print. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time, talking.
I asked Europe, considering Warner releasing the 007 movies, and they when we go to the top 10, they release Red 1, which is Amazon.
Amazon MGM. Amazon is making a play for theatrical and home video. So we'll see how that goes, which is good.
Nice.
No, it's good.
So I think we had some super chats that came in, Rob. And
we
then
do.
You can take a break. Then
I will jump over to those, and we shall see what we shall see. First of all, we have a new member. The Order 42 show is Imagination Connoisseur. Thank you for that. Castle Grace Skull gifted a membership. Thank you for that.
Nice. Thank you.
Stubble McShave says, you guys are ordering discs from all over the world. Do you know if the trade war with tariffs will affect the price of discs that you buy overseas? A very good question.
Not.
Yeah, I hope
At the
not.
moment, it's the same. But we'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, I don't know how long that trade war is going to last. It's not going well. We shall see. So I hope not. I mean, but, that's just another way the American public will get screwed by our own government. Same as it ever was.
The only thing I try, as I always say, Rob, get more titles together in one package, that the shipping costs and the custom is a little bit parted equally,
Yeah. I mean, our post office is, our mail system in the United States is going to be getting gutted as well. So
and that's why, even if we always trash Amazon considering the packages, that's why I still love them. If I put an order out for 3 titles together, they will ship the titles that are available. They don't wait until the 3 titles are together.
No, it's true. So I hope not, but we'll see. Paul Bernotto says, Paul Paul Bernardo says, Icons Unearthed, the James Bond documentary Blu-ray releasing this Tuesday with 13 hours of extras. A must-buy for any Bond fan. We'll see. Robert Giacinta says, I want one of those Lionsgate sweatshirts, but with Dieter's face in the middle of the little square. Well, you could probably, make that happen. Well, I'll ask Lisa Stevenson if she'll make a special Dieter Bastian edition of the Lionsgate limited shirt.
Okay. Then really it needs to be limited, Rob.
Yeah. So, it's crazy. And Nandy says, good to see you up here in the land of rain. Thanks for the after-dinner conversations. Great working with you. Looking forward to what's next for True Noir. I would imagine that Nandy is Nathan. Nathan is Mike Schertz is one of his, Dr. Schertz is one of his best friends is Mark. And Nandy, we all worked together. It was great. We talked a lot about True Noir, and did I say Nathan or Nick? I don't know. My brain's frazzled, but we did have great conversations. It was great to have you, and great watching your. Thanks for watching the show. This isn't the flagship show, but I'm not on my game today. So thanks for that. But that's good. And Kenny Colton. Oh, I already said the Kenny Colton joke. He already made a joke at my expense.
Yeah.
So that's all good. But, so that is all the news. We are caught up on Super Chats.
Okay.
We're all good.
Okay. So Rob, I would say take a break, and I switch it a little bit up. I still have stuff to show, but I will do the live chat first.
Okay.
Previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Todd Jones. He does not above shilling, but he only wants to be paid in physical media. Would be nice. Castle Grayskull. I got a movie gift card for my birthday. I will not be using it for Snow White. Shobu. CGI dwarfs are original Sonic level creepy. If you remember this first Sonic design, where pretty much bashed and Paramount changed it. Marvel. Star Wars Fanatic 6. Working Man is a little bit of a different plot than The Beekeeper, but yeah, the same. Bill Barclay, speaking of horror movies, I noticed that Popeye the Slayer Man is out. Yeah, I've seen that too. With very middling to negative reviews somehow. CH, according to his business card, he's Wiley E. Coyote. And Gordon Waddell says, I will be at Coyote vs. Acme opening day if it gets released.
I really want to see. I really want to see Coyote versus Acme.
Yeah, me too.
Who doesn't?
The idea, I totally love the idea about him suing the Acme company for all the trouble and shenanigans that he had to go through.
Yeah.
Marvel, Star Wars Fanatic 6. Has anyone seen Magazine Dreams? Is it any good? I heard good things. This is the movie with Jonathan Majors, where he plays a bodybuilder, but it's a heavy drama, I heard. So not really a good feel movie, but I haven't seen it. I just heard that it's pretty
me too.
Pretty good. Paul Santella. I thought Wile E. Coyote didn't talk. Yeah, that's why the human lawyers are there in the movie. Joseph, considering Novocaine, we talked a little bit about what types of painkillers or other stuff are we using. And Joseph says, Germans are tough. They don't need pain relief. Okay. And Todd Jones says, I told you the German title of Novocaine is Mr. No Pain. And Todd Jones says, Mr. No Pain is better. Okay. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6 says, I got a Penguin on Blu-ray. I've been watching it all weekend. It looks just as good as it does on Max. Nice. Paul Santella. Princess Mononoke is an amazing movie. I just watched my Blu-ray recently, and it's such a good story. Totally agree. Todd Jones. I would make a movie just for Rob that was all drone shots.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Albedal says, drone shots look great if you don't think It's a drone shot. Come on. Vixter, Victoria is here. 5001. Severance Season 2 was superb. Loved the finale. Todd Jones says, Severance Season 2 was a huge step down. Asked more questions, didn't really answer very many. And the answers they gave were stupid. Okay, so very different takes on Severance. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6. But unfortunately, the Marvel shows are only being released on 4K now. I would probably get those on Blu-ray too if they release them. Internationally, if you buy the steelbooks in the UK or in Germany, you always get both. You get the 4Ks and the Blu-rays. But you're right, they are not only Blu-rays. But you can get them. You can get the Blu-ray versions if you buy 4K steelbooks internationally. Todd Jones. One thing that sucks about Severance Season 2 is that most of the predictions fans were making after Episode 1 came true. The writers should be able to come up with things we non-professional writers couldn't. Okay. Mission Media, do you think Lionsgate Limited will do exclusive slipcovers? At the moment, I think they're more specialized in steelbooks, but who knows? And of course, we had last week the big discussion or the hoopla about the Lethal Weapon steelbook. And Albion, Mark says, that Lost Boy cover, the steelbook is decent though.
Is it? Yeah, is it? Is it though? Is it?
Is it though? Correct. Anonymous, Severance is a mystery box show that you can tell is just making up a lot of stuff as it goes along. I only watched it because I have a free trial. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, I can't believe Megalopolis is basically banned in America, not on any digital platforms, no Blu-ray, nor 4K. It's just crazy to me. But if you want it, then nationally, the movie is available as a steelbook 4K, as a normal one. You could get it internationally. Channel Surf, speaking of the Lethal Weapon steelbook artwork, Channel Surf, using art as a lethal weapon.
Well, the European artwork is far superior.
Do we have a European artwork already, Rob? I have not seen any.
There is European artwork. Allow me, I will find some as you continue on.
Okay. Mas Hussein, missing the Mel Gibson glorious mullet. Totally agree. The Alex Sorber, Warner Brother UK great, Warner Archive great. The trash at Warner Brother US are, well, just trash. Kervin, they were better off using a pic of Danny Glover on the toilet instead of that, which unfortunately would be, of course, part 2. Kano 007, Flight Risk, stellar effort from the genius mind of Mel Gibson. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, that Flight Risk steelbook is freaking hilarious. The movie's not worth buying, but awesome job on having a slipcover where he's wearing the hat and then you take it off and he's bald as he is in the movie. And we had a question, Rob, considering movies that we want to see or would we love to see getting a 4K release, I think from the 90s. And Miele had 2 great ones from Immune, I don't know the English word, but the 2 Asian movies, Hero and House of Flying Daggers. That would be great.
Yeah, I would love to get both of those.
4K.
By the way, I've got 2 looks. Here is the Lethal Weapon European steelbook. This is the UK steelbook.
Oh, nice.
Which
one.
is it has the smiley face and the riff. That's the original one sheet. And here is the rest of the steelbook.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not the greatest in the world, but that'll look, the black and the silver will look cool, but it's infinitely better than the garbage.
To go up, Rob.
The garbage they're peddling here in North America. Fuckers. So
there was only a chance to go up, but nice. I haven't seen that yet. Show C. The answer for a Touchstone film would be The Rock and Con Air as well.
Love to get
Paul
those.
Santella informed me already last week, but I didn't see it in the live chat. Anyone read that new Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the reaping. I have gotten it this week, and I'm not as fast as Rob, who would probably have devoured in a few hours. Miele, Rob spoke, or Tom Jr. Jackson asked us about the series. I think The Pit, was it? And Miele says,
that's really good.
As a retired New York medic, the last thing I want to watch is an ER series. And Fox 1 says, I'm only here every week to see Dieter show us his box and get his things out. Channel Surf, considering the movie The Thief. Thief must be played loud, sonic, and visual perfection. Tom Jr. Jackson, I watch doctors react to The Pit on YouTube, and it is the most medically real show on the air. One doctor said, it's almost too real. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6, you showed us your Penguin, and we were not sure, slipcover or not. He says, that's weird because there's a slipcover on my Penguin Blu-ray, but you got the 4K, Rob, perhaps the Blu-ray?
No, it's just, you know what? I'm positive that I got fucked by Amazon.
Okay. Paul Santella, I hope one day I find a significant other as committed to me as Dieter is committed to having RMB read Super Chats. GA, hey Dieter, was the TV series Der Pass popular in Germany? I watched all 3 seasons recently and it was excellent. I have not seen Der Pass and I unfortunately can't tell you if it was successful here, but glad if you loved the show. The Blue Corner, he reminded me, I forgot to tell that last week because I showed the movie Sea Wolves and he reminded me, the Blue Corner, Sea Wolves is also in the Line of Duty series number 7. And we got 88 a package in the Line of Duty 1 through 4. So this would actually be in the Line of Duty 7. Suns and Shadows, Humanoids from the Deep is such a fun movie.
So good.
Totally agree. Todd Jones, Time Slip looks like real quality. Another home run, Dieter. Hope so.
Hey, it's no African Kung Fu Nazis, dude. We have to bring African Kung Fu Nazis back.
Must saying, I remember Time Slip from the 80s. I'm a sucker for those type of movies, particularly The Final Countdown. That's what's the movie that I couldn't remember. Miele, like who the hell would ever watch Cartoon 6? Since, Miele, you are not into animes, tentacle porn, you know, there's a lot of people who are in.
I'm just going to say, I mean, look at like things like Heavy Metal, Fritz the Cat. You know, there's a lot of X-rated cartoons. And like one of my favorites, Bible Black, if you know, you know. I mean, come on. I used to read Omaha the Cat Dancer, the comic book, and that was like the furry wet dream.
Yeah. And especially animes.
Everyone's going, what?
Contain a lot of stuff.
What's going on?
Stuff. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6. Does anyone else really miss being able to walk into Best Buy and buy our physical media? It's a good question. Do I miss it? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends. But I haven't bought a disc for the longest time in a store. Days of the past. Danzig 1979. If Bill Hunt is happy with Tombstone coming out, then so am I. Walter White Walker. Lethal Weapon 4 was actually my favorite of the 4. Nice. And Ecto 1701, Lethal Weapon 4 has aged greatly. Nice. Miele, any good movies out of Australia other than The Road Warrior? I think there are nice ones from
what?
Australia. Besides.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Peter Weir, Picnic at Hanging Rock, Cars That Ate Paris, The Last Wave, the Ozploitation movies that we're getting. If you haven't seen the biker movie Stone, not to be confused with Stone Cold, although they would make a great double feature, Stone and Stone Cold. If you want your biker gang movies, those are the movies to watch. There's a lot of those Ozploitation titles are great. I mean, you know, movies like everything like, by the way, if you haven't seen Body Melt, it's available. Vinegar Syndrome. I don't know if they still have any copies, But if you want to see great Australian exploitation body horror, you could do worse than Body Melt. Once again, thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for bringing that out. As people who might not know, one of the first movies I ever showed Elizabeth was a movie called Body Melt, and I'd never seen it before, and I had a DVD of it, and it was clearly a horrible VHS reproduction of the film. And I actually, as we were getting to know each other, I made her watch Body Melt, and she turned to me and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" You know, it was not a good. I said, "Look, baby, I'd never seen this movie before."
Testing the waters movie.
But the fact that 10 years later we're still here, I don't know what that says about us. But when Vinegar Syndrome put it out with a die cut cover, a slipcase, I felt vindicated. I go, "See, somebody believes there's value in this, and it's Australian exploitation at its finest." So Miele, how dare you? How dare? What about movies like Breaker Morant, dude? Come on. Baz Luhrmann, Australia. I mean, we're talking his what is it? The Three Curtains trilogy or whatever. What is it? What is it called? Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, and Strictly Ballroom. Those are also.
And even if they're perhaps not particularly Australian movies, let's not forget how many movies are made there, considering the
but there's a lot of great Australian cinema. Yeah.
Certainly.
Wake in Fright. That's another great one. And look at all the stuff
coming out from Umbrella.
Yeah, and how about Daybreakers, the vampire movie made by the Spears Brothers? If you haven't seen it, my beloved. Now I'm drawing a blank on the title of it. That's based on Heinlein's Predestination. Was Sarah Snook and Ethan Hawke. That's one of my favorite time travel movies ever, based on Robert Heinlein's short story, All You Zombies. Come on, man. Don't you dare besmirch the Australian film industry. Come on, Miele. Now that we know how to pronounce your name.
No Australian movies. Come
on, man.
Victor Fontaine. I expect, considering the Tombstone Disney Steelbook, I expect it to be the usual $45 Disney Steelbook price, not the Deadpool Wolverine $55 ripoff. The Deadpool and Wolverine Steelbooks are actually at almost a Schnäppchen here in Germany at the moment for $30 each. Todd Jones. I'd never even heard of Michael Haneke, until just now. I guess I'm a real Philistine. Okay. And Albetal, I prefer rewatching a Szymanski Tatort before watching a Haneke movie. Okay, his movies are specific, but they are great ones. The Alex Sorber. I watched Radiant's release, German film, The Cat, yesterday. Excellent. Totally.
Yeah, I gotta get that, man. I gotta order that. It looks so good.
Yeah, totally. Great transfer, new extras. The Blue Corner, considering the Lethal Weapon 4K Steelbook. As long as there's a standard 4K release, the bad Steelbook artwork. But Rob showed us internationally, it's a little bit better. Thomas Logan, Gladiator 2 hurt my soul.
Yeah.
Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6. Did people hate Gladiator 2 because it was unrealistic? Or what's the reason exactly? No idea. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic 6. I bought Craven as well. Didn't understand the hate for it. Okay. Miele. Dieter has really good memory. He remembers previous chats. Sometimes the noggin still works. Tim Hens. We are a lot of funny people here in the chat. You certainly are. Walter Whitewalker says, in 10 years, Let's Get Physical Media will be about halfway to episode 1000. Big This Energy, 10 Things I Hate About You needs a 4K. Oh, certainly. Thomas Logan. Oh, wait, no, that's not the right one. Walter Whitewalker. Does True Romance have a 4K? Yes.
Yes.
Have a 4K.
From Arrow.
A
great 4K.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Paul N. Brunotto, Rob, reminds us, considering 4K releases, Crimson Tide, one of your favorites, on 4K.
Oh, man, I want to get that up for so bad.
Yeah. And Miele writes an executive decision. Would be a nice 4K too. And the last one, Rob, Danzig 1979. But Rob, surely a 4K you would want from the 90s isn't Strange Days, but Free Enterprise. That was the last
Oh, well, yeah. Now, I have a little addendum that I wanted to add to speak about because people have been talking about this and asking me about this. So as many people know, the first movie that I ever edited, that my actual credit on it is additional editor, and it's with Peter Billingsley. Don't shoot your eye out, kid, from The Christmas Story. So back in 1993, 32 years ago, my friend Dan Schweiger and Dave Parker, they were both working at Charles Band's Full Moon Entertainment. And Dan called me up and gave me a job. And he said, there is a movie called Arcade that starred Megan Ward and Seth Green and Peter Billingsley and John Delancey. It was written by David S. Goyer, who later went on to write Batman movies for Chris Nolan. And this movie, so Full Moon released like the Trancers movies and the Demonic Toys movies, the Subspecies movies. And Full Moon was releasing a movie a month, essentially. And they had a great facility off San Fernando Road. It was really, really cool. There was Roger Corman. He was over in Venice. And then we were over off San Fernando Road, Full Moon. So Dan Schweiger hired me. And so Arcade was a movie about teenagers getting sucked into a video game. It was a Tron ripoff. And how it worked was the live action stuff was shot on film, 35 millimeter. And the interior of the game was shot on digibeta videotape, standard definition digibeta, basically 640 by 480. So the CG in the game footage was so terrible that Paramount, who was releasing Full Moon movies every month, said, we are not going to release this movie. We're not going to release Arcade because it was so bad. And to be fair, it was edited in like 7 days. So Dan Schweiger hired me, and he said, you're going to work with Peter Billingsley. And I was like, the actor from A Christmas Story? And he goes, yeah. He took the job because he was the assistant editor on the movie. And he wanted to learn about post-production to sort of branch out because he was kind of typecast, and he wasn't getting as many acting roles as an adult, so he wanted to get into different areas of film. So what we were going to do, Dan Schweiger, we had to deliver Arcade. Arcade had been sitting on a shelf for 2 years. And so what we had to do was Dan was going to get new visual effects made, and we were tasked with, they retransferred the movie, and we had to re-edit, put the film back together, and we would drop in the new effects. So they retransferred the movie to videotape, but only, this is important, only at standard definition. So it was only SD. It was not HD. But it was shot on film. However, the movie was going to be finished on digibeta at standard definition because it was 1992 where they transferred the footage over, so there was no HD. And Full Moon owed the movie to Paramount. So Dan hired me to work with Peter Billingsley to reconstitute the movie, and we would drop in the new effects. And by the way, we were editing this movie on a linear 3/4 inch. So we had 3/4 inch tape to tape, which means that if you wanted to make a change, you had to go back and stick the different tapes in. Fucking nightmare. But it was the first time anyone asked me to do any kind of editorial on a feature. And so I called up Dan after looking at the footage. I said, Dan, there is a much better movie here than what was cut in 7 days. There's more footage. There's more character stuff. And I asked Dan, could we recut this movie? We could recut the whole thing and turn it into a much, much, much better film. Because this movie, and Peter would admit this, they only gave him 7 days to cut it in the first place. It was terrible. I mean, it was just really unwatchably bad. And I said to Dan, we can make a better movie out of this. And Dan said to me, he said, what do you know about editing a feature film? And I said, well, Alan Hine became a hero of mine after seeing all that jazz, but honestly, nothing. Although I did get an A in my editing class at USC. And I did something, our final was we had to edit this part of a Jerry Lewis movie, and I got an A because of something I had done editorially, which I've told the story before, so I don't have to get into it. Let's just say I got an A in editing. And so I said, well, Dan, I mean, I can tell that this movie could be better. And so Dan flew that up the flagpole and said to Charles Band, can these guys re-edit the film? And Charlie said, we'll test them. We'll let them do the first 10 minutes of the movie. And the first 10 minutes of the movie didn't really have any new visual effects or anything. So we did it. We hunkered down. We barely left the edit bay, and we recut the first 10 minutes of the movie. And they saw those first 10 minutes, and we're like, "Oh my God, how did you guys do this?" And we're like, the footage was there. It's just no one was given enough time to recut the film. So, and you're probably asking yourselves, why am I telling this story? I'm getting to that.
I'm not, Rob. I know what is.
So what was really interesting was we were working with a company out of Montreal called DHD Post-Image. And we were getting, like, we only got these single effect shots. Like, we would get a shot. By the way, they did an infinitely better job of showing the inside of the game than anyone else did. But so, like, we would get it was kind of like the virtual corridors looked like you were in a dungeon, and these energy balls, we'd get a shot where an energy ball came around a corner. And I said to Peter Billingsley, I said, if we have one shot going this way, we can then just rotate it. So you can have one shot going, and another shot going, and then another one going, and go 1, 2, 3. So instead of one effect shot, we have 3. And we could amp up the action. And so some of the time we were locked into certain virtual shots. And they did one really long, like a minute-long CG shot. Remember, this is 1993 now. We started. So I worked on this movie for, like, I want to say the better part, basically a year. And Peter and I started from scratch. And we basically reconstituted this movie. And we learned everything we needed to know. We oversaw Dan Schweiger was our boss, and he was the overseer of everything. But Peter and I were in the trenches making this happen. And after that, after the experience, Peter and I became really good friends. And we had a production company, and we shot some music videos. We made an award-winning short film that won a Golden Scroll Award of Merit from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. But so we made this movie, Arcade, and it came out on Laserdisc, and it was nominated for Best Independent Video Release of 1993. And it was beat out by another Full Moon children's movie that admittedly was way better. But this week, Arcade.
There it is, Rob.
There it is. Arcade was listed to be coming out under the Full Moon banner, and it's got a lot of special features on it, and it's got the original artwork. So Arcade is coming out on Blu-ray. But now let me explain something to everybody. This movie, while the live action stuff was shot in 35mm, this movie only exists in standard def. You'd have to go back and the effects were only finished in standard def. There's no HD elements. So I would assume that, because people have been asking me about this and I don't know the answer, I haven't heard definitively, I would assume this is an AI upscale of the original digibeta version of the film to be released in Blu-ray. Now, this movie is, and Peter and I, it's very interesting, the original editor of this film did not want to take an editorial credit because they did it in 7 days. So his dog, Miles Winton, the editorial credit on Arcade is actually a dog. And we get our credits, Peter and my credits, are additional editors, which at the time it was great, and we're both on the same title card, but we get it in the end of the movie. We don't get it in the front of the movie, even though nothing left. The version of Arcade that exists is entirely our edit of the movie. It's Peter Billingsley and my edit of the film. Nothing exists of the original version. We changed the whole thing. Now, we took something that was unwatchable and we made it really mediocre. But I am damn proud of my mediocrity. And Arcade was released on Laserdisc, but to have it come out, 32 years later, it's really funny because when you work in Hollywood, look, nobody. I'm not Stanley Kubrick. I'm not John Carpenter. I'm not David Cronenberg. And everyone's like, "What have you ever done?" What I've done is I've had a great career in the entertainment business. I've had so much fun. And Arcade was really, I've been working, of course, as a PA. I had come off of working on Army of Darkness in makeup effects, a Cast a Deadly Spell, working for Altarian Studios. And when I left there, Arcade was the next job I did. So I worked on a feature film, and it was an amazing time. And I had so much fun with Peter Billingsley. What a great guy. And, of course, he went on to executive produce Iron Man. Believe it or not. Yeah. So it's great to see this coming out, and it's been a long time coming. I'm sad though that, of course, no one probably thought of this. There's some really interesting special features on it, but I'm sure Dan Schweiger is more pissed than I am about this. But it would have been really fun to do a comparison between the first visual effects, because even the artwork on the poster was different, and it would have been the story of how this movie got revitalized is really, not just because I was heavily involved in it, but it's a really interesting story about how things that were sitting on shelves can then be reworked and come out. And since our film White Devils, that was recently reviewed by the movie I produced with Gabe Bologna, that he directed, was recently reviewed by Film Threat, and that was another movie that was sitting on a shelf for a long period of time that we revitalized. Because of that review, it's going to be coming out. White Devils is probably going to get picked up for distribution, and it's something else that I've been involved with that is coming out, and that's always gratifying when that happens. I mean, there's two other movies that I edited that have been sitting on a shelf for the better, one for 10 years, almost 15 years, and the other for 25 years, and I would love to get those out too, because they're finished. And anyway, so Arcade is coming out on Blu-ray.
Awesome.
So there you go. There's my self-serving, self-aggrandizing story of a movie I worked on coming out.
But it's not exclusive to their store. You can purchase it anywhere.
I honestly don't know. This is just their artwork. It is listed. Yeah. It might be exclusive. I'm not sure.
I hope not.
It's just I'm really proud of it to see it come out. I thought this movie would never get seen again. So it's pretty neat.
There you go.
That it's coming out. Yeah. So we've got a couple of okay. Big Disc Energy says, you'll have, can you read this in German? Ich lieb dich, Dieter und Robert Korpelich Worden. I don't know.
Let me see if I can go this far back to get that super chat again. Ich liebe dich, Dieter und Robert. He loves us both, Rob, and he wants to get bodily with us.
A threesome? You Germans.
Looks like it.
Yeah, well, just because I'm gay adjacent doesn't mean I'm going to throw down with the likes of you two fine fellows. Come on. Although, something can be arranged. Big Disc Energy. Big Disc Energy says, please work with the awesome Michael Rosenbaum again. Well, that is the plan. We have many plans for True Noir. Max Allen Collins wrote an incredible script that I'm so happy that people are really responding to it, and the whole thing will come out as one long piece, the whole bloody affair, and it will be one long thing that'll come out probably next week. It'll be all done, and then we are working on a Blu-ray, so you can have the whole series and listen to it in 5.1. And we've got some video pieces on that too.
You can do the mix still at that facility.
Well, my facility is ending its life, so the mix is already, it's been done by them, but there's going to be no more facility, so we're going to be the last thing they finish. But they're moving. Well, I can go back and work with them. So pretty cool. Yeah. Alexander Wilson says, with the recent news of the financial situation at the Daily Wire, I read a few months ago that the investors were upset that their movies and series have been nothing but a cash burning machine. What are your thoughts on this situation? Okay. Well, the Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's company is the Daily Wire, and they've been making a movie. They've been doing the Pendragon cycle, and Jeremy Boring, who started the Daily Wire, left. Look, here's the thing. Everybody in the world thinks they know how to make movies. Everybody. I don't think I can be a brain surgeon, but you start talking about movies, everybody will tell you their idea for movies. Everybody thinks they can make movies. They cannot. History is replete with examples of people that have failed miserably trying to make movies and spending a bunch of money because nobody understands. Movie making is a cash up front business. You have to pay for labor. It's very labor intensive. I'm sure when AI comes down and people can do their user generated content, that will change. But to actually make movies with real people, which it just costs a lot of money. And making productions is in fact a cash burning machine. Now, it was one thing when the Daily Wire picked up movies for release like Run, Hide, Fight. They made the Gina Carano Western and stuff.
That movie.
Yeah, Run, Hide, Fight was pretty good, and they couldn't get distribution for it. And the Daily Wire picked it up, and I did a story. I mean, look, just because I'm talking about the Daily Wire doesn't mean I'm suddenly going to become a Matt Walsh acolyte. But I did find it interesting that they became a distributor of independent movies. So Run, Hide, Fight, essentially a exploitation movie, found a home there, and the way they were releasing it to their subscribers was very interesting, from that standpoint. Very interesting. But I think that, again, if they were trying to make a Game of Thrones series based on the King Arthur Chronicles, I'm like, you guys are high. You should have started trying to make $1 million exploitation movie and worked your way up. As much as you might have wanted to compete with Game of Thrones, you just can't do that. So the fact that they wanted to make a bunch of money, and it doesn't surprise me, because both Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring wanted to make it big in the entertainment business, and they weren't able to do that. So it's tough. I mean, they should have become, like I talk about, why isn't there more Blumhouses? They should have focused on trying to make $1 million, like Full Moon, Arcade. At the time, we were making $1 million movies once a month. And this was back in 92, 93. And that was how it worked. You're making $1 million movies that had a video release through Paramount. It was a great deal. Of course, it got fucked up, but it was a great deal. It was a great deal for the time. So I think it's a mistake that they spent so much money and tried to make something like that, but what can you do? The Brujo says, I loved Arcade. I was 9 years old. I rented it new release from the Plains Video here in Western Australia. I love it. See, you work on these things. You're in these little rooms in Hollywood edit bays, and they find their way to Australia. In an abstract way, Kid Me sent you a super chat for feeding his love of sci-fi. And now I'm almost 40. Small world. What a great story. This is why you do it. People are always like, well, if you haven't made Top Gun Maverick, you haven't made it in the film business. But here's a kid who's now 40 who saw Arcade when he was 9. Yeah. So, I mean, that's amazing. Park Narks says, hey, Rob, I got a complete set of The Twilight Zone on DVD a while back, and according to my MKV Ripper, the discs themselves are copies. Thoughts? Okay. First of all, can I just say, The Twilight Zone, so that makes sense because The Twilight Zone was released in many different ways. And, there was a subscription service. You could buy them, it was almost like a mail order. They hadn't come out from anybody real yet. But I will implore you, please, 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 if you're a Twilight Zone fan, you've got to get the Blu-rays. The CBS restoration of The Twilight Zone on Blu-ray is stunning. It is unbelievable. I'd seen those episodes 100 times, and when I got the Blu-rays, I almost wept with joy. They're so beautiful. So please get them.
So you must. So you need to upgrade
Yeah.
your collection. Park.
Yes. 100%.
Was it? Okay.
So
So Rob, even if I still would have stuff to show, but I have early shift tomorrow, can I save the stuff for next week? Is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, buddy. I don't
Because
want to
they
tell
are
you how to lead your life.
big-
I mean, we're already going to have a threesome with somebody, so big
Yeah.
dick energy, but I'm
Because
not
they
going
are
to tell.
bigger editions, and I want to have a little bit more time to show them and not quickly go through them. So
Cheers to
I
you.
would- we love, since we are already over 2 hours, just because I have early shift tomorrow, bring it home today, and I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Wow, this is ending quickly. Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. I want to thank everybody for generously supporting this channel via super chats and tips and memberships. We will have a membership call next Saturday at 11 a.m. And they go for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, however long people want to hang out. And I will be reporting from CinemaCon in Las Vegas. I will be in Las Vegas I'll be there probably by 8:30, hopefully, because they want to broadcast tonight. But I'll be there through Thursday. I'll be back. And for those of you interested, the final 2 episodes of True Noir hopefully will be dropping next week. I mean, this week, the end of this week. And that will be the end of True Noir. And then I go into fulfilling perks for all of you supporters on Kickstarter. We're going to make the script book. We're making the soundtrack album. The CD. We're making the Blu-ray with all 10 episodes, the combined episodes, and all the episodes of the history behind the mystery with Max Allen Collins and Phil Dingledine directing those. So it's going to be very exciting. And hopefully there will be exciting True Noir news to talk about. True Noir maybe in a different form, not an audio drama. And I'll leave that for all of you to ponder. But, yeah.
And on my own drop, next week I will finally go to the theaters again and watch the second one. I will watch Mesa 2, the most successful animated movie. So I will have something to report to next week about Nesa 2.
Well, that's exciting.
That's all the hype. Yeah. And I've seen on Amazon that the US 4K is actually out of stock at the moment for the first.
Wow.
For the first one.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, then. I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson and the whole moderating staff, Lord Toth, and everyone else who is around. So that's exciting. And all of that. So I guess we have nothing more. We can end this show, everybody.
Yeah. I will show the stuff next week, people.
Definitely, all right.
Definitely. And trivia will come back too.
And yeah, trivia will come back.
I would have had time, Rob, but we have switched the clock too. We had this at sync again.
Yeah.
So I'm missing that one exclusive hour that I had 3 weeks. 3 weeks I had an hour.
Now you have an early shift. If you want to get True Noir, you can get it at truenoir.co at our website. You can order it, and the entire show is going to be available. I think it's going to come into it's going to be like 4 hours and 45 minutes or something. All 10 episodes. I'm not sure how long it's going to be all put together, but I've really appreciated everybody their support on this one. I think it's turned out great, and the ending. I have to say, the ending packs an emotional wallop, and I'm very proud of it. So
nice.
Hope y'all like it.
Awesome.
And on that note, buy some more discs.
Yeah. See you next week, guys.
All right, then. As Clint Eastwood says when he's directing, all right, go ahead.
All right.
Man, they wouldn't let me. They kicked me out, so I couldn't end the stream. I had to